Hey everybody, Leon from Jawas Junkyard here. I just wanted to give you a bit of an overview and a little bit of a how-to for those who may be unfamiliar with lightsabers for your new Mastersword hilt that you would have just received. So yeah, most of the hilts have started to arrive and customers asking me questions on how to do this, how to do that. So I thought I'd make a little video just showing you, I guess, the general parts and what to do, and especially when you get your blade, and I give a little bit of talk about that. And of course it'll only be relevant for those that are on the pre-order, so once I make them ready to ship, I guess all these problems or issues will be resolved and it'll be one right correct shipment. But just briefly, I guess I'll touch on some of the issues. So first we had an issue where this is the sample unit that was sent to us, part of the prototype, and we had one purple, one blue sent. And the spacing of the pitch, so between the top and the back screw here, the top and basically the switch was correct. That pitch was all correct. Now, one of the feedback I gave for moving to production was to make the tube 3mm longer this way, but keeping these fixed points to the top surface the same. And so what happened is the shop, for some reason, assumed the dimension that I gave them from the top surface to the switch, that they were to also make this retention screw that same dimension. So they shifted it about 6mm, and now if you're familiar and you're trying to get the core in, you'll realize that once you secure it in the right spot, it doesn't line up with the switch. So that's part of what's happening. The blades are ready. They've just been delayed because I want the blades to come pre-packaged, ready to go, so we can ship to you the blades with the new midsections, and they're going to come with some timing shims. I think we can also talk a little bit about timing shims in this video as well. So let's get started. So you'll get this kit, and now this kit isn't manufactured by us. It's a standard off-the-shelf LGT core, as we've advertised. So we're not super experts on this. We don't make it, but we know how to use it, and we'll give you all the tips and tricks. And if there's questions we can't answer specifically, there's instructions that are included. And also there's countless videos of people going through the functionality of these. But what we're going to focus on today is a couple points. We're going to show you how to get this core into your hilt, and obviously that'll make sense when you get the new midsection. You could still secure it in place, but you won't be able to activate the button. But if you want to play around with it, you definitely can. You can activate the switch like that remotely, and then put it in the core. You can even screw it in place, and then you'll just have to use gesture control, because it does have gesture control. And yes, my battery needs charging, and will also go over charging. So first step, the way I do it is, you've got a hole here. So you can see there under this gold shroud, you get like the sun pattern, the sunburst pattern, and then just like maybe 6 or 7mm below it, you have like an opening, quite a large opening. Now, your hilt's going to come with a M4 grub screw in this hole, the opposite side of the switch. Take that out, get rid of it. You don't need it, it's too short. But in the bag of screws inside the kit, you're going to have a few Allen keys, and you're going to have lots of different screws. What you want to find is the longest grub screw. So it's an M4 grub screw that looks to me like 10mm long. It's the longest one. So if you open the pack on the table, it's going to be the grub screw, and what that means, it's a headless screw with the longest length. So we take that, and that's the one we're going to want to use. And you can test the Allen keys which one actually fits the hole, because there will be a couple different sizes. One that works with the blade retention and one works with that. So what I do is I have the back surface facing, and I'll try and do this so camera and I can see. I have this hole I'm putting with my thumb at the moment, and the threaded hole that you have the grub screw in. I line them up as best I can, and then I push the core in, and then what I do is I'm looking through that hole basically when I see the space. Right, and I've actually gone past it. Now that's okay. You move the pommel, and obviously it's a bit hard to see from the angle I'm looking at, and then you just push it back, and then you go, and then you keep doing that until you find the screw hole. There we go, found it. Now, it's not much to see there, but it's basically, instead of seeing a gold plastic behind it, you're going to see, just darkness, because the hole goes deep. then all you do, you tighten this up, and you can actually pretty much go all the way in. It goes sort of flush with the body, and that's where I sort of go. You'll start to eventually feel resistance as this pushes the switch system up and starts to engage with the plunger switch that we have on the hilt. But it's really good that it gets, you know, all the way, and you'll start to feel it tight. Now, you know, if you feel like you want a bit more, you know, different feel, you can just slightly, quarter turns at a time, adjust that screw until you get to the point where you're happy with that feel.
Battery at critical
and
levels.
Now, say, example, you want to charge it. There's a few things we have to say about charging, like all of these cores. Although it comes with a USB-C cable to charge via USB-C, you can't just plug it into your latest phone wall adapter, wall wart, whatever you want to call it, and hope it charges, because they're capable of huge amounts of current. They're often not 5 volts, often quite large. So what you want to do is either get yourself a charger that's dedicated 5 volt output at no more than 1 amp, so either half an amp or 1 amp maximum, and then you can plug this in, this USB-A cable, into that wall wart that's controlling the output voltage and current, and this obviously into your saber. Right now, unfortunately, well, we didn't want to have endless holes in our saber design. We wanted to try and keep it as close to the original Mastersword, and I guess the negative of that is you have to remove the core to do charging, but most of the custom lightsaber community, that's how we work, because we don't like too many visible holes. So you plug it in, and you could plug this into your computer to charge it. It's not data access, it's only charging. So you plug this into a USB-A port on your PC, and it'll charge at no more than 500 milliamps. I believe they're limited at 500, could be even less. Last I checked for USB-A. But yeah, so that's an appropriate way without having to buy anything new. Your computer or your laptop can charge it. But yeah, otherwise you want to get a specialized wall wart for your region. So if you're the US, you know, you get your 110 volt plug that works, that outputs no more than 5 volts and 1 amp current, so less, so either 0.5 or 1 amp, usually the main. They're very common, very inexpensive, they exist all over the place. We just don't want to go through the hassle of including that, because it's not, you know, then we have to get into which region, etc. You might be in the US with a 110 socket, you might have a 220 socket. Yeah, it's just a lot of electrical rules that we don't want to play with, and let you get your own certified socket that you use from, you know, wherever you get your sockets from, your local electronics store, Walmart, whatever. And there you go. So this core, I guess I'll give you a brief overview. It's got the main button, that's what you're pressing. There's an empty space, in this case we don't use it for anything, and then here is your USB-C charging function up at the top. We're going to later show you how, because we've actually worked with Juan Sith Saber Sound Fonts, and he's going to give, well, you know, I've purchased from him a license for everyone on the run to get his Zelda sound font. And what I'm going to do is upload that to a Google Drive with basically easy steps for those who are inexperienced with lightsaber electronics to be able to copy over and make your first sound font on here be the Zelda one. So thank you, you know, Juan Sith Saber Fonts, for working with us on that. That's great. Great deal. I thought it'd be a really cool thing to do to make up with some of the mucking around that's happening now with waiting for the blade and, you know, the repair midsections. It'd be a really cool thing to include that sound font. So we've done that, and later I'll show you, we'll switch over to the computer and I'll show you how to do that side of things. So really, when you want to get onto the computer, you're going to need a way to communicate to this. So the easiest way I find, you of course can get a USB micro USB port cable, into there, a data one, to your laptop. But what's easiest in this case is just popping that micro SD card out, and if your laptop has or computer has a micro SD card adapter, or you need a dongle, get one of those, because that's the easiest way. In this case, we're just going to transfer a new set of files that'll be in my Google Drive that I set up link for everybody, and we're going to just copy and paste the folders in my Google Drive and paste it over what you have here, and that'll give you the font that, you know, access to the font, or to the Zelda sound font. Alright, so again, we'll go over it one more time. You know, obviously a lot of this is not really useful until you get your blade, and the new core. But just to give you an idea, that's how you do it. You sort of go in, you line up, find the hole, put the screw in. Alright, now I'm going to do it because I'm going to need access to that in a second. And then, you know, I've separated this for the ease of the video. And then, you know, you want to screw it all together. And of course, apply your blade if that's not applied. Another thing just about the blade, so you can sort of see this is where it ends up. The final step, the blade itself will sort of come to a flat spot there. We have a very long blade stem for this to try and give the blade as much structural integrity as we could. You've got one blade retention screw here, and as some have noted, yes, it's not straight, it's on an angle. And the reason it's that way is to just contact the, to be able to contact it in a spot that wasn't where the crystal is, right? So we wanted an accessible spot, contacting this, and it works just fine. As, you know, you're probably going to tell it's sturdy, it's not going anywhere. It's a little M3 grub screw, quite short, and again, you'll also have the Allen key in this little bag, or just floating in this box when you got your saber. So that's how you do the blade. When the blade comes, you plug it in and insert it in, just being gentle because it's a nice tight fit. We want to make sure that your little connector doesn't pop off at the end. If it does, it just needs to be re-glued, so it's not the end of the world. It's like any lightsaber, but it's quite a tight fit, which is good. That's what we want, less wiggle room. And yeah, that's the basics of it. So that's your switch. Included is this little card, and it's actually, so I'll get in view. It's actually really good. It's got some operating instructions on how to do it with one button controls. So, you know, how to turn the blade on, how to turn it on without pre-on. So you don't hear that if there's a sound font that has a pre-on, you don't have it. Turn the blade on muted. So you can, if you want to just turn on and have the lights on when maybe everyone's asleep in the house. It tells you how to change to the next preset, previous preset, so you can switch around the different font profiles that you have. Shows you how to you know, play music, and then it goes through how you do it with the effects, like, you know, how to do lock up, the drag, melt, force effects, how to change colors on the fly. So every basic user experience on how to use that soundboard and how to use that sound electronics is all there. So like I said, we're going to make the first profile, the Zelda, the sound font that we've purchased the rights to for this run, and then from there, of course, there's countless videos to show you how to change fonts on a Profi soundboard. It's a open source system, and there's countless videos to show you, so I won't bore you with that. There's plenty of great videos showing you how to do that. If you want to get creative and if you want to purchase other fonts, other Zelda fonts, you know, there's heaps you can do. If you want to go in and customize the colors that come on all the time and the effects that are related, and there's a whole host of customization that you could do. I'm giving you a basic font now, just so everyone can have that. This is the Zelda sound, and yeah, and we'll go and show you briefly how to do that once I work out how to do a nice recording of my computer screen. So I'll do that, and then I'll be back to just show you how it works on the Saber. So thank you. Just for you to know, the micro SD card is just hidden under there. Let's see if I can get that to focus. And this is what I connect with. I've got the micro SD card in this dongle through USB-C to my laptop. And I've just done the file copy video, and now I'm ready to eject. Put this back in where I strongly recommend. It's a bit fiddly. You need some tweezers to grip it properly and get under there. And it's a bit hard for me to film and do it at the same time. But yeah, doing that will get you the new sound font on the Saber. Hello everybody. I believe I'm now over on my PC recording the screen. Let's see how this works. So what I've done, I've taken the micro USB SD card, out of the Saber, and I've plugged it into my dongle. You see I've got this USB drive up now. If I go up if I open up my files and I just go here, you see drive E, and in here there's a lot of stuff. These are all your different sound fonts, and then we have the SD card config. So for those who know about how to, edit stuff on a Profi board, here's included the manual. Here's different function lists, and then here's some of the files. We've currently got the 32H on here with our gestures, so that's why it's a no gesture, but that's only required if you're a bit more of an advanced user, and you can go in and do that. But what we want to do for our purposes is, what you're going to get is, you'll see my custom config that I've made here. So this will be what you get from the Google Drive from me. Control All. Go in over back to your USB. Now feel free to make a copy of this, back it up before you do this, just in case something gets corrupted through this process. But I'm going to just go Control All, Delete. And I'm going to permanently delete it all. It's okay, I've got a backup, so if something goes wrong, it's alright. But we let that get deleted. And once it's deleted, we're going to then copy and paste directly the stuff that I've put on my Google Drive for everybody. And straight into here. So we want to system. Let's get rid of it. So let's go there. Let that finish. And while that does that, let's copy and paste in the items that I had before. So all right, now that's done. All, I guess you want to check. So I've got the original folder here as backup, but it won't get called. Just want to make sure all that's in there, and it is. You can also test them out, hear the sounds yourself. All right, and then now we can disconnect, put the micro SD card back in our hilt, and we're all good to go.